introduce myself. I am Diyana and this is my colleague, Miss Arina. So before we start, based on our conversation before, you have agreed to use our service to purchase a property, right?
Yes, actually, I saw a property and I am interested to buy it. So I will ask her opinion on the matter so that it will run smoothly.
Alright, understood.
Okay, so first we would like for you to give us the detail of the property that you wish to purchase, and then we will go from there. Then shall we start? Sure.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you for the details, Miss Aina. So any further action will update you in the second meeting? Okay, perhaps. Sure. Thank you.
Hi Miss Aina, I am NURDIYANA and this is my fellow colleague Miss Arina from Mrs. Diyana and Associates, and we will represent you as you requested for the upcoming S&P transaction. So how are you feeling today, Miss Aina?
Hi, I'm feeling good. So, are there any issue on the property? I hope that the transaction can be completed without any problem.
Sure, Miss Aina. Before we proceed, Miss Aina, let me recap back our previous discussion about your intention to purchase a bungalow. Firstly, the property is a bungalow that is located on PM 4460, Lot 5525, Mukim, Bukit Besar, Daerah Kuala Terengganu. The owner is Miss Sofiya binti Ismail. The purchase price is at Ringgit Malaysia 700,000. Is it correct, Miss Aina?
Yes, it's correct.
Okay, so let's move on. For your information, Miss Aina, we did a land research over the property according to the details provided by you to ensure that the property is free from any encumbrances and to avoid any problem in the future. Unfortunately, we found that the land where the property which you intended to purchase has a restriction in interest that requires the consent from the land administrator of Kuala Terengganu before it can be transferred, charged or leased.
Does it mean that the land could not be transferred to me unless after obtaining the consent of the land administrator? Can it be solved?
Yes, don't worry, Miss Aina. This matter can be solved, but it requires a little bit of effort from the owner itself. So this means that the current owner of the property, which is Miss Sofiya, must apply to the land administrator of Kuala Terengganu to obtain the consent before any dealings can be carried out. So in our case, before the transfer can be proceed, before the transfer of land title can be made under Miss Aina's name, the application shall be at the owner's own cost and expense. However, you, Miss Aina, shall provide all necessary details to facilitate the owner's application to obtain the consent. So the consent shall be obtained within 3 months of the SPA, and failure to obtain even after the extension of time, the owner shall refund all the monies paid by you and free of interest within 14 days.
Oh, I see. Then it means that I don't have to worry since I will get a refund if the owner failed to obtain the consent, right? Then it should be fine and I will leave it to you for the action.
Absolutely. However, Miss Aina, there are other issues in dealing with this property that might concern you as a purchaser, in which the land has an existing private caveat that has been lodged by a third party, knowingly the Sofia's estranged siblings that claim ownership over the part of the property. However, I believe Miss Sofiya is also intended to sell the property to you, so she might also want to remove the private caveat lodged by the third party before the sale and transfer can be made to you, because the nature of the private caveat itself will restrain Miss Sofiya to deal with her own land. And to remove this private caveat, the owner, Miss Sofiya, shall apply to the court under Section 327 of National Land Code that allows any person or party aggrieved by the existence of the private caveat to apply before the court for the removal, and it includes the caveatees. And in our case, the caveatee is Miss Sophia herself. Hence, she is entitled to apply before the court for the removal of the private caveat, since she is denied to deal with her own land, and as a result, she is unable to neither sell nor transfer the land to you, the purchaser. Therefore, the best way is for Miss Sophia to apply for removal before the court under Section 327 of the National Land Code.
I believe you are expert in this field and to settle this issue with your great mind. But how about the cost? And how about if Miss Sophia failed to remove the private caveat within the stipulated period?
We understand your concern, Miss Aina. All the costs and expenses will be incurred in the process of removal of the private caveat shall be borne by the owner itself, Miss Sophia. And in regards to the failure to remove the private caveat within the completion date, we would suggest for the extension of completion date as the case may be required by the owner to remove the private caveat.
Oh, I see. Will all the suggestions explained by you just now would be followed by Miss Sophia?
We will try our best to negotiate with her and her solicitor pertaining to the issues identified. We believe that if these issues will not be resolved, it will also impact the sale and purchase transaction between you and Miss Sophia. And this means that the failure to act on behalf of her would render the sale and purchase agreement could not be executed due to the land being unable to transfer to you.
Okay, good. Oh, I almost forgot. What about the payment of the deposit? Miss Sophia wished for the payment to be transferred to her directly, but I am not really confident in transferring that big amount to her directly. Is there something that we can do about that?
About that, we will discuss with Ms. Sophia solicitor regarding where the deposit, the remaining purchase price will be transferred. But it is best for the payment of the deposit to be transferred directly to the Ms. Sophia solicitor, because it is the duty of the solicitor to act as the stakeholder that undertakes to hold necessary documents and purchase price to ensure both parties' interest. For instance, if for any reason registration or transfer cannot be effected, it is stakeholder duty to return the money to the purchaser. Therefore, if the deposit is transferred to the owner itself and not the solicitor, there is a possibility that the owner would misappropriate the money and be unable to refund in the event of a breach contract.
I believe it is better for you both to handle this issue because I need to ensure my interest is protected, and I think your suggestion is kinda acceptable since you know well about your expertise.
Alright, Miss Aina. So moving on to the next issue in regard to the fixtures attached to the property. How you would like to settle this matter?
As for the fixtures, I believe that all the fixtures form a part of the property. Therefore, the purchase price should include these fixtures that are attached to the property. I wish to buy the property not only because of the property itself, but also the fixture attached to it. Without the fixture, I will need to incur extra money to replace the fixture that have been taken.
Okay, I understand your concern. Before that, I would like to reconfirm with you that these pictures that Miss Sophia wishes to take back are the kitchen cabinets, built-in wardrobe, and the lighting only, right?
Yes, only these three fixtures.
Okay, we will try our best to negotiate with Miss Sophia solicitor regarding these certain pictures. But looking at the situation, I would like to suggest to you that we try to negotiate with Miss Sophia first to give you the kitchen cabinets and built-in wardrobe only. So your only concern is that if these pictures were to be taken by Miss Sophia, you would have to incur extra money to reinstate the property to where it was before. So in my humble opinion, the negotiation might fail if we ask Miss Sophia to give you all the fixtures. So what we suggest to do here is to only negotiate for fixtures that are essential and crucial to form part of property, and pictures that would likely cost you a fortune if you were to replace these fixtures. Between these three fixtures, the lighting would not cost so much if you were to replace it. So, Miss Aina, how? Do you agree with our suggestion?
I think that's a good suggestion. Yes, I agree. I'm willing to replace the lighting, but as for the kitchen cabinet and the built-in wardrobe, I cannot negotiate with that. I still want both the kitchen cabinet and the built-in wardrobe.
Okay, we will try our best to negotiate with them, and that is it. And we will address the next issue, which is the unpaid quit rent. So we noticed during our search on the property that there is an outstanding quit rent amounting to 1,000 ringgit, right?
Is that so? Does that affect the process of purchasing the property? But if I'm not mistaken, the responsibility to settle the outstanding quit rent is on Sophia, right?
Yes, that is true. As you know, it is the responsibility of the vendor, which is Miss Sophia, to settle the unpaid quit rent, and the outstanding quit rent does not affect the transfer of the property. But if this issue is not being addressed correctly, then there is a possibility that it might cost you to settle the amount of unpaid quit rent. But worry not, we will address this issue with Miss Sophia's solicitor to remind them that Miss Sophia has to settle all the outstanding amount of quit rent before the completion date of sale and purchase agreement. I think we have covered all of the issues that need to be addressed. So, do you have any question or concern, Miss Aina?
No question, and I agree with all your suggestions. Thank you both Miss Diyana and Miss Arina for the consultation just now.
Thank you for trusting us to assist you in purchasing the property. Any update, we will contact you. Have a nice day, Miss Aina.